Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Entrepreneurs Lounge, the show that highlights success stories of entrepreneurs making it in different spheres. I'm your host, Ingrid Nantege. Joining me today is my first entrepreneur, who is Kimani Patrick, the CEO and publisher of Inversk magazine. But Patrick is also the lead organizer of the annual CEO breakfast. You're very welcome to the show, Patrick.
Thank you so much for having me.
You look very young for someone who's doing all these things.
Depends how young is. Yeah,
How young is young in this case?
You tell us, you said young.
Let's leave it. Forget about it.
Well, I'm 26, turning 27.
I knew
so
you were young.
26
So Patrick,
isn't young.
CEO, publisher, Inversk magazine,
Yes.
also lead organizer of the annual CEO breakfast.
Yes.
Tell us all about it.
Well, Inversk started a couple of years back in 2016. I was a campus student and I thought I could do a business magazine to support startup founders and entrepreneurs. But as we grew every other day, initially it was just a blog.
Right.
And we managed to, in 6 months, to make it a magazine, published digitally. We have been digital for quite a long time. And then we discovered that business leaders have a thirst for knowledge and mentorship and a place where they can meet to do business with each other and seal deals. And that is how the annual CEO's Breakfast was born. We held the first one in 2018, in February at Lake Regency Hotel. 2019, last year, we held it at Safari Club, Nairobi. And this year, last week, actually, on Friday, 7th February, we held a very big event at Movenpick Hotel where business leaders at all levels from across East Africa joined us, and we had an amazing time to discuss business. So many business deals were sealed, and we got clients, that is B2B clients. And it is
I love
amazing.
how you say we got clients.
Yes.
How did you manage that? Also, because you said you started out as a magazine that was tapping into startups to provide valuable information, and here you are organizing an annual CEO breakfast that brings together thought leaders and opinion makers. How do you get your clientele? How do you get the audience that you need? How do you go about publicity?
Well, majorly, I would say technological advancement, especially the new media, that is the social media, has helped me a great deal. There's so many Facebook groups online, and through a small budget, you can be able to promote post on my. I can be able to promote post on my page. I can be able to post in Facebook groups and also WhatsApp groups, because we have quite a good number of WhatsApp groups of people who read our magazine. So we get people from online, they join our WhatsApp groups, and people who have been part of us, either read our magazines in the past or attended some of our events in the past. So we have clients who have been with us. There's new clients that we reach majorly through social media, and there are others who joined us through referral programs. Like somebody came to our event and found it was good, and they invited their friends. Like I have someone who came with 3 friends this time round, and there's another person who always sponsors our event year after year, and every year he brings another partner who sponsors my event. So that is how it works.
Kimani,
Yes.
I want to hear about the journey of Inversk magazine, from when you started it as that campus person to now how you started, how you came up with this big annual event of the CEO breakfast. What has the journey been like, and at what point, how did the growth happen for you to where you are today?
Well, first and foremost, I mentioned that the Inversk magazine started out as a blog. Actually, we were not a business magazine. We were a personal development blog. But then I discovered, what exactly are we inspiring people to do? How about we inspire these people to learn how they can start, build, and scale their businesses? So we have a problem of jobs in the country, and when we empower entrepreneurs, they create jobs, and also when they create jobs, they also grow the economy, and that is something that I'm really passionate about. So we moved from personal development and started doing business news, doing features with successful entrepreneurs so that they can share with us the strategies that have helped them to build their businesses. That was in 2016. We thought this information, we can package it into a publication, and that is how the magazine came to be. We published quite a number of magazines, that is up to March 2017, and that is when we said, let us organize a magazine launch. We did a launch. We had around 75 people attending at All Saints Cathedral. And after the launch, I thought I could do other events. So I could organize monthly events, but they never worked well. Actually, every event that I did in 2017, apart from one, all of them were losses. Negative, negative, negative,
Wow.
negative. One gave me 240 shillings. Yes. And I was very happy, at least this one, imebakisha kitu. And in 2017, we also had the challenge of the political temperatures were very high. We had 2 elections, business was not good. And since I could not even get advertisers for my magazine, I thought, how about I invite a couple of young entrepreneurs? We sit down on a round table breakfast and discuss what exactly can we do to support each other this year, that is 2018, to build our businesses. Can we help each other get clients, those kind of things. And I only wanted 25 CEOs, that is young CEOs, startup founders and entrepreneurs. But surprisingly, when I announced the event, so many people came. We had over 95 CEOs, business leaders. I was targeting people from Nairobi, but people from all the way from Uganda, Tanzania, Kisumu, Mombasa, they came to this event. I expected people who are below 30 and people who are even above 60 came. And it was really exciting. And I said, this thing is working. How about I do it annually? So that is how I came up with the CEO's Breakfast again in 2019. We were still calling it the Young CEO's Breakfast, but I thought this 2020, we are no longer young. The people we started with 3 years ago are now full CEOs. Now it is no longer the Young CEO's Breakfast, it is annual CEO's Breakfast. Yes, but also the journey hasn't been that easy. It's always challenging here and there.
I mean, clearly, you just talked about not making complete losses to making 240 shillings at one point in time.
Yes.
Which brings me to the question, with all those challenges and, the times you fell down and then got back right up, what are some of the lessons you picked up along the way which have helped with your sustainability and you carry them with you now going forward in everything that you do with your business?
The major lesson that I learned is that nothing comes easy. We all read stories about overnight success, and they are just that, they are stories.
Right.
Success, overnight success, no, we hear stories of overnight success, those are stories, but for you to be an overnight success, it takes at least 10 years.
Right.
So my mentor told me this thing. My mentor has been in business for over 20 years. He only broke even when he had done business around 10 years or so, and he told me you have to be resilient, you have to be patient and work things out day after day. So I knew there is too much hours I have to put in. There is too much work that I had to put in before I, experience the success I will eventually achieve. And that made me fall in love with the journey. Every time, like for example, when someone calls me, a lady called me last week on Wednesday before the event, and she told me, I attended the CEO's Breakfast in 2018. I was just employed by a friend of mine. Yeah. Today, after attending the event, I have been able to leave the job, create my own business, and I've hired 3 people. That is a story that brings me joy, because I know we have helped create
and it's inspiring
4 more jobs, because we have the friend and now 3 employees. And that is just one case. Another friend of mine came to the event. He was struggling in his business and he needed an investor. A friend he met at that particular event introduced him to an investor who has invested 10 million in the company. And that means more investments coming, these people are creating jobs, and the country is growing. Those are the things that bring me joy. If somebody reads our magazine and gets just one strategy that helps their company from loss making to making profit, it is something that brings me joy. So it is no longer about the money. It is about the impact that we are making.
Kimani, you mentioned a very important aspect that a lot of people tend to neglect when it comes to entrepreneurship, and that's the fact that you have a mentor.
Yes.
How important and what role does a mentor play on the journey of entrepreneurship, especially for someone who's young, also like you and starting out and may not really have a proper grasp of what is necessary? How important is a mentor, and would you even advise someone to pick them up, or they can do it on their own?
No, if you're someone who is running a business or living life without doing something big without a mentor, it's like you're an orphan. Mentorship and parenting is almost the same thing, because mentors are people who have been to where you are, they have experienced challenges and they have overcome them. So they have practical experience about what it is you want to do. They have been on that journey. So they know what to do, when, and how. So, for example, I'm trying to, let's say I want to hire the next employee and I don't have enough cash flows. How do I decide on when to hire the employee? I want to start or to open an office.
Right.
Just because I have money does not mean I should open up an office or should start expanding and venturing into new industries.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go to my mentor and I tell him, these are the cash flows that I have, this is the business, this is how far my business has come, and I'm thinking of investing in different industries. He has an experience and he will tell me whether it's good, whether it's the right time for me or it is not the right time for me, because he has done it,
Right.
or she has done it.
So he's very vital in hand holding and just direction.
Very. Even when you're dealing with PR issues, dealing challenges with your employees or with stakeholders, our mentors have done all that, and they have experience. They have practical experience on how they solved these problems.
Finally, Kimani, from a small blog to a publication, Inversk, to holding the annual CEO breakfast, what next? What's the dream? What do you want to do? Where are we going to see you now?
Well, I see Inversk as the gateway to investments in Africa, because we are building a publication that that is offering insights, analytics, and an analysis from industry experts on which industries can one invest, which industries, the changes, the market trends, and all that. So we are small, but we're looking at being the ultimate resource for entrepreneurs in Africa and giving out any information that one needs to start, build, and scale their businesses in Africa.
Well, that was Patrick Kimani, CEO and publisher of Inversk magazine, also lead organizer of the annual CEO breakfast. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere, because when we come back, I have my second entrepreneur, who is none other than Hazary Otieno, the CEO Sanaa Space Interactive. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Entrepreneurs Lounge. My next guest is Hazary Otieno, who is the director at Sanaa Space Interactive, an advertising and marketing agency. You're very welcome to the show, Hazary.
Thank you very much.
Interesting name.
Well,
Almost as interesting as your business name.
you have to be strange. And my mother knows that.
So fine. Let's talk about Sanaa Space Interactive. What exactly do you do?
At Sanaa Space Interactive, we started as a traditional marketing agency, like everyone else, doing media buying and all that, digital marketing. But then after a while, you realize there are more agencies than other companies. But companies still keep growing. Who is growing them? Like, who is developing the brand?
Yes.
Everyone has money, most people have money, but they want to go to business, but they don't know how to go about it. So what we do is brand development for now. We help you from creating the idea, creating the products, creating the branding, and going to market.
But now you as Hazary,
Yes.
with all the businesses, or rather business ideas that we have under the face of the sun, why did you decide to embark on this journey?
On this one,
This particular one? Of Sanaa Space Interactive,
Space.
of brand management, of brand, of
the
marketing.
initial plan was not to do marketing.
What was the initial plan?
So it starts in 2012, after leaving high school.
High school.
Then, yeah,
Okay.
after leaving high school.
You were a born entrepreneur? In
I'd
high school,
say
usually
so.
people, yeah.
Okay, in high school I was an entrepreneur because I used to sell biscuits. You have to survive
That's
in
true.
high school. So after leaving high school, then at the time you leave high school, then there's like 8-9 months struggling with life. At that time you are brokest, yes, broker than everything else. So I decide. No, actually some guys started doing events at that time. 2013, people were doing events here and there, here and there. I said, let me try this. So we started, and it was going well. It was going well. It was going well. It was going well.
So it was going really well.
It was going well, actually.
Right.
Then I got a chance to be a floor manager at a restaurant. I'm still 19.
Okay.
Not a restaurant, it was a club per se. So at 19, then another one. And then you have to create products. As a restaurant manager,
You have to be innovative.
you create products, you have to get the clients. Your work is to get the clients. But for you to get the clients, you have to say, I'm a restaurant. Our next door neighbor is a restaurant. What are we doing? What are we doing that this other person is doing? So it went that way. Then after a while, I said, let us now do a bigger event. So I collected my resources, collected everything, and then we said, let us do this. Then it failed terribly. So I went into a depression. Yeah, that was 2016, 3 years later.
Right.
So I went into a deep depression, and then, so in high school, I used to act. I said, let me try this. So I go to a random audition at Kenya Theatre, KNT. Then it was an international company doing films. So I go audition, and I fail.
Wow.
But then I overhear the producers telling the ones that were shortlisted that come to Ngong Road on such a day, and then I say, okay.
You went even without being shortlisted.
No, I said, I'm doing nothing on that day, so let me just go. I'll just go. So I go to Ngong Road, and then I meet everyone doing their thing. So I did not want to embarrass myself, but I also wanted just to know. So I went, and while they were doing another audition to reduce the shortlist. Then, as I was just walking around the vicinity, I found someone. She was a woman, apparently. Then she asked me, what are you doing here? No, she was a woman, but I did not know what she's doing there. So, what are you doing here? I'm like, oh, so I tell her the story. I was doing this, so I came here. I'm like, okay, so what can you do? Now, when I was doing events, I was out of frustration. I started doing graphics and all that, learning YouTube-based. So,
Hazary, you did a lot of things, but you have to tell me at what point now you get into this.
exactly.
I need you to make it short.
I'm taking it. Now, this woman, apparently she was a producer. Then she gave me a job and say, okay, well, let us try and see what you can do. For the same thing, people are auditioning.
Wow.
So I got a set job, and these people got
Acting.
not acting. It was, how do they call them? Not the main actors, the passerbys.
The support.
Yeah, the support.
Extras.
The extras, yeah. So after a while, then in the same company, we got an advertisement job. Now that's where Sanaa Space comes in. So after seeing everything happen and say, I think I'll start an agency. Then I started an agency with small jobs here and there. Then time goes.
So when did it become worth
Then we are
it?
here.
From all those failures, from that young high school boy who started out, to have someone believing in you, doing that, when did it all make sense for Sanaa and to blossom into a full business?
2018, per se.
Tell me about it.
In 2018, we randomly, there's a bigger agency that got a job, then we were subcontracted. After getting that job, so we were like, we can do this. But it was too much for me. I was a one-man band in an agency, a one-man band. So I was like, get some few people who can do graphics and this and this and this and that. Let us go and put a front and say, we can do this. Then we did it, and then the same agency gave us another. So right now, I can walk past a billboard and say, yeah, we did that.
Wow.
But, yeah.
So Hazary, yours is a very inspiring story that dates far back and a story of perseverance.
Yes.
What would you say have been some of your key lessons that you would like to pass on or even impart onto the next entrepreneur who's trying to do the same thing as you?
My key lesson, okay, this is, I think, just one. Nobody will spoon feed you.
Right.
You know, in life, everyone is Serikali's idea, or I need this person to do this so that I can do that. Just start, and then things will work out.
So, Hazary,
Yeah.
would you then say you're where exactly you want to be, based off of where the journey started to where you are today? Or what's the dream for Sanaa Space Interactive now going forward? What's the next step? What is it that you want to achieve next to take you to the next level?
Okay, as for Sanaa Space, we are creating, as we speak, we are creating digital products. Like we have a multi e-commerce platform. It's not an e-commerce. It's a ticketing platform, but that sells artworks, music, ebooks, and everything else. Call it Ticket4. It's supposed to be launching by now. I think it is out because it's launching in February. So yeah, that, and then we have a payment gateway. Yeah, digital empires. So we are switching from an agency to managing digital on-demand platforms. Yes.
So Hazary, you're doing marketing, brand management, managing of brands, whatever. You're doing stuff to do with marketing, advertising, brand management. Some would argue that this is a saturated industry because when you walk around the corner, you'll find someone who will be claiming to do the same exact thing that you're doing. My question is, how are you pushing your brand, and how do you ensure that you stand out even in the midst of so many other people that are doing the same thing as you are?
Okay, I agree. Marketing is a very wide market. It's a very wide industry. But now, there's one thing that we should put in consideration is that the only thing that differentiates a company and Mama Mboga is an agency. An agency is the only company that every single other company can be their client.
Right.
You know, when you are you are manufacturing tissue, only tissue users will use it.
Right.
But as an agency, there are too many SMEs that you can never lack a client.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that was Hazary Otieno, who is the director of Sanaa Space Interactive, a marketing advertising agency. Unfortunately, that's where we wrap it up today on Entrepreneurs Lounge. And just a reminder, we've been shooting at King Paul's Suites and Residence on Raptor Road in Westlands. I'm your host, Ingrid Nantege. Don't go anywhere because we have so much more amazing programming coming your way right here on Metropole TV.